Hello knitters, Barbara Benson here. I'm an independent knitwear designer who also likes to make videos here on my YouTube channel, Watch Barbara Knit. Make sure to check in the description notes below the video where you will find links to all of my online shenanigans, including how to get my patterns to knit up for yourself, how to join the Watch Barbara Knit Facebook group, how to support me on Patreon, and where to get Watch Barbara Knit merchandise. Happy June. It is the first Thursday of the month and the first day of the month, and that means we have a Fave 5. Fave 5 is when I pick a theme and I go through a bunch of my favorite designers and pick out patterns that fit that theme that maybe you haven't seen before, or maybe you're familiar with the designer and haven't seen the pattern, or any of those things. It's just my way to highlight other designers, other indie designers, because I really believe that I need to use my voice to uplift other members of this industry. And I'm pretty excited about this month's theme because it is very much a multi-purpose type of theme. It's something that I've been asked for a little while, but also a little bit of my own flavor added in. So first off, it is June, so it is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. So I wanted to come up with patterns that if you wanted to knit your rainbow, that you could knit your rainbow. And it just so happened that this theme also worked for one that I have been asked about. And it is right this time of year, June and July, is when all of the amazing indie dyers and yarn stores start offering pre-orders for holiday gift type sets, like the Advent type sets that use a lot of mini skeins of a bunch of different colors, which a lot of people have asked for ideas of what to do with the masses of mini skeins that they have accumulated with those sorts of things. So if you've been thinking about getting and supporting an indie dyer by getting one of these Advent sets, but you don't know what you would knit for it, hit their ideas in here. And also scrappy projects, just if you happen to have a lot of leftovers from socks or shawls or older mini skein sets or anything. All of these things are encompassed by today's themes. It is really patterns that will help you use up multiple colors, small amounts of fingering weight yarn. They are all fingering weight because typically that is what you see or are receiving in the Advent sets. Most mini skeins that you run into are fingering weight. They don't really make a lot of mini skein sets in heavier weight yarns. So you can knit your rainbow, you can knit your Advent, you can knit your scraps with these patterns. So I'm telling you, I'm hitting it all. It's kind of a shotgun approach today. So I have a separate screen that is up with the information on it, so I can make sure to get you all of the information that I want to convey, and I'll talk to you about why I selected these patterns. So here we go. Dun, dun, dun. First off, this is Rainbow Interrupted by Fatimah Hinds. If you watched me for any length of time, you'll know she is one of my favorite designers and also a good friend. I thought this cowl was particularly lovely. It's got very interesting texture to it. According to the tags on Ravelry, it is in the round and it has stripes, has a little bit of texture. She used a mini skein gradient set. I love that there were so many colors, but I was stumped as how to use them. I came up with this cowl as a way to show off the yarn and use every single inch. To add another layer of visual interest, I rearranged the colors so that the different hues are interrupted by the lightest hue of the color to follow. So she really mixed it up. So she didn't just do it in rainbow color, she kind of mixed it up. So that is really cool. It's quick knit that isn't too challenging. And with the color changes, you'll be saying one more round. It's just simple stitch patterns. She used the Russian join method to avoid having too many ends to weave in. She used, let's see, a size, US size 3, which is a 3.25 millimeter. And hang on, let's go to the next picture. So you can see it's got all of this great texture in it, and the colors just kind of mix and mingle, which is really super cool. 435 yards is what this one is calling for. So if you want a nice soothing knit in a traditional just tube shaped cowl, and I am pretty sure that if you have a different number of colors, you can swap them out however you want. And if you have more or less yarn, you can do more or less. So great for minis, great for scraps, great for knitting your rainbow. Okay, the next one we have is Daisy Dance by Emily Woods. Now this is a crescent shaped shawl. As you know, I love accessories, so all of these patterns are accessories. This uses 700 yards of fingering weight yarn on a US size 4, that's a 3.5 millimeter needle, and it says it is 65 inches / 165 centimeters long and 12 inches / 30.5 centimeter at its widest point. It's an elongated crescent shape and combines color play with intriguing textures. A garter stitch border frames the shawl, while colorful bands of eyelets swoop across it. This shawl is an ideal showcase for a gradient set, but also looks great with two contrasting colors or a rainbow or scraps. This is why I selected it. It's got these really cool bands separated. I really like that she chose white as her contrast color. I think that it really sets off these particular colors she chose. You could definitely go with another solid color that contrasts with everything. I think like a light sand color would be amazing, or black would be brilliant. This shawl begins by casting on the bottom edge and finishes with garter stitch short rows and a border along the top edge. So this is a bottom up construction, which means you're going to cast on a whole bunch of stitches and knit the stripes, and then do garter stitch short rows to bring those curves. So it's going to be like this, and then it's going to bring those curves up. Only one color is worked at a time. Because this shawl is worked from the bottom up, the size can be easily adjusted by casting on more or fewer stitches. So I'm sure that the pattern gives you some guidance as to how to make those adjustments. And so I got another picture. It's there. So this is a different color combo, I believe. Yes. So this has the greens and the yellows with a little bit of pink up top, which I thought was really nice. And actually, I think they're the same. It's just one is exposed very differently. The colors came out brighter, but there you can see the garter bottom, the garter neck, and the beautiful, and it's a simple lace pattern. We've just got, I'm guessing, yarn over knit 2 together going on. It's just a nice, sweet shawl that'll allow you to play with your scraps, your rainbow, or an advent set that you have. Okay. Next one. A hat. You need a hat, don't you? Love this hat. This is the Textured Stripe Scrappy Hat. Say that 15 times fast. By Schira, also known as Imagined Landscapes. You may have seen some of her patterns. She has a proclivity for making gnomes. This, again, is fingering weight yarn. It takes between 80 and 400 yards of yarn because it is in sized everything from a newborn, baby, toddler, preschool, small, medium, large. And so what she says, based on 400 yards in 100 grams, you need, for the newborn, you need 20 grams, baby, you need 30 grams, toddler, preschool, you need 40 grams, small, you need 50, medium, you need 65, large, you need 80 grams. And then she also, that's for like a fit, a beanie fit. And then she has a slouchy fit, which everything knocks up a little bit more, which takes you up. For a large slouchy fit, you need the full 400 yards. She's knitting with a US size 1.5 and 2.5, which is a 2.5 and a 3.0 millimeter, and it's available in English, French, and German. So for my international knitters, if you're watching this with subtitles on, it does come in a couple of different languages. Whether it's leftovers from a gnome, which is why I mentioned that, or dozens of pair of socks, we've all got more fingering weight scraps than we know what to do with. This pattern is designed to be easy to knit because you'll only ever use one color per round. You're doing slip stitches here. You know, I love slip stitches. The pattern comes with a table of yardage by size and height, and she has filmed a tutorial on how to knit the ends in as you work, so not having a lot of ends to weave in. The skills used are knit and purl in the round, slipping stitches, knit two together, and an optional I-cord. So we've got all of those sizes, and I just think this one, and we also have, I'm guessing this is the large version. It's slouchy and it's on a larger head size, and look at this gorgeous hair. So obviously this individual needed the larger size. I really like this detail. I like that she has all these fun stripes, and then the little slip stitch detail just gives it that little pop that is a lot of fun. It looks like it starts with a ribbing and then just goes with some fairly plain knitting with those little pops of slip stitches that make it a lot of fun. Again, you could totally see this doing this rainbow colored. I can see it doing with advent sets. I can see it doing with scraps. That is what I was looking for. This one really checked off all the boxes. So here we go. Little Leftovers by Stephanie Lotven. She does some amazing things with self-striping yarn. I've actually reviewed her book here on the channel. You might, if you really like self-striping yarns, you might want to go back and look at that book review. I think it's called Knit Happy with Self-Striping Yarns. And this is, she says light fingering. I'm sure it will work with regular fingering. She used a US size 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter, and she's calling for 497 yards. So that's why she's saying light fingering. Something that's coming in clocking in at around 500 yards in a single skein is looking at a light fingering, but I'm confident that you could substitute regular fingering weight and get away, because this isn't really a size thing. So by the end of December, I have a million little leftover bits of yarn laying around my house. We all have all of the leftover yarn, and definitely after December, after you've finished all your gift knitting or most of your gift knitting, you're definitely going to have these scraps, or if you've gotten the advent sets, or if you have gradient sets, or if you just want to, again, knit your rainbow. So she says, right after Christmas, I almost immediately make up a resolution to use all that scrap yarn. This cowl was designed to use all the little leftovers in your stash. Worked in 25 bite-sized sections. I wrote this pattern to use the leftover yarn from my Advent yarn kit. Ding, 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 ding. But you don't need an Advent kit to knit this cowl. So each section of the cowl is tiny, so you'll race through the entire pattern all at once, or just do knit little bitty sections for 25 days. Plus the pattern includes a specific yardage breakdown for each of the 25 colors required. And because of the many textures used in this design, it even looks beautiful in a single color bonus. The pattern includes a coloring page, so you can plan ahead. So that is a ton of fun. It is worked seamlessly from the top down. It knits up quickly, as any good cowl should. It wears like a hassle-free shawl, and it's this great shape. I really do. She explains how this shape is great, and I love this shape. So what's going to happen is you're going to cast it on in the round, and it's shaped like a top-down triangle. So you're knitting in a tube, but you're doing that spine shaping, which is going to be like, you're going to have a spine, and it'll be like yarn over, knit one, yarn over. And so that makes the point form, and it's what is happening in a top-down triangle. But in a top-down triangle, you have increases on the edges and then in the middle. So it's a total of 4 per row. Here you're only increasing 2 per row. So you get that point, but the back of the cowl stays short because it's not flaring. So it's really easy to wear, and it's fun and easy to knit in the round. Let's see here. And she has a whole list of how many yards you need for all 25 colors. It's as small as 5 yards all the way up to 37 yards, which I think is fantastic that she put the effort into giving us so much information so we can properly plan. I'm sure you could repeat colors if you have more yarn of a specific color. It'd look amazing. Her finished dimensions are the neck opening is 20 inches, the front length is 25 inches, and the back length is 9.75 inches. That's 51 centimeters, 63.5 centimeters, and 25 centimeters respectively. So as I said, the back of it is not going to get big, which is one of the great things about this particular cowlette shape, because then all of your party is going on up here and you get to see all of your beautiful work. Okay, number 5. Love, love, love this scarf. It just makes me want to eat it up. Good thing it's called Confectionery. This is Confectionery by Lisa K. Ross, and it takes between 450 and 600 yards of fingering weight yarn. She used a US size 4 or a 3.5 millimeter needle. It is one size, says it is 89 inches long, that's 226 centimeters by 6 inches wide, which is 15 centimeters. And what she says, like taste testing goodies at a local candy store, knitting this scarf is every bit as sweet. Confectionery is your chance to play with all the yarn minis in this simple, eye-catching design. Beginning knitters can tackle this accessory with confidence, while experienced knitters will delight in painting with yarns of every color, eagerly working away towards the next color change. Snack packs, and she talks about the yarn she used. And what you need is so for your main color, you need 250 yards. And in this, it's obviously that dark green. And then you need 12 colors of 25 yards a piece. A piece. And that is where our advent set, our rainbow, or our scraps come in. If you have, so it's 25 yards, 23 meters of 12 different colors to work through what you want to do. And I think this one is absolutely lovely. I love the asymmetry of it, that it has some easy garter stitch in it. Here's the, let me show, and look, she macarons. So you've got this really nice, essentially all you're doing is working 2 offset chevrons. So you're going to have increases and decreases, and then I'm pretty sure that the in-between greens are done in garter so that your colors are going to stand out more in the stockinette. And then it looks like it switches at some point to having the green, the contrast color, in the stockinette and the color in garter. So it does switch it up. I just think it is really cool and lovely. It's got great, yeah, you can definitely see. So if you look on the side closest to me, the color is in stockinette and the green is in garter, and the side further away from me, you can see those garter ridges. So you have 2 different textures going on when you're wearing it wrapped. I'm sure there's some point in the center back that it switches over, which is just a really nice little detail to add a little bit more interest to both your knitting process and the finished piece. So that is Confectionery by Lisa K. Ross. And there we go. Those are my fave 5 for Pride Month for June. Scrappy type or advent type mini skein using Knit Your Rainbow, whatever you want to call it. It is a great way to use up small amounts of fingering weight yarn and get that stash down a little bit, or be prepared for upcoming advent or scrap extravaganzas that you might have coming up. I'm excited for the summer and hope y'all are too. It isn't a bad idea to go ahead and start working on your holiday knitting now. Get ahead of the ball. So if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up, click that like button. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a new video, please subscribe to my channel and select notifications. Thank you so much.